What up, humans, aliens, and ethereal beings of all kind? Welcome to episode 11, dude. 11 weeks in a row? I've showed up. I've showed up 11 weeks in a row. Dude, shout out to me. Go me for doing that. You know what I mean? I'm proud of myself. I flake. I'm a flake sometimes, bro. I can be flaky like a croissant. And not this time, bro. We're staying consistent, dude. Consistent. First video just hit 1,000 views on YouTube. So shout out to all you guys. My first video of this podcast series just hit 1,000 views on YouTube in 2 days. That can't be right. Wait, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it's got to be 4 days. All right, whatever. 4 days. Still, dude. 1,000 views in 4 days? It's about most views on one of these podcasts. So let's go, dude. I think it was the thumbnail that got me more clicks. But shout out to all of you for rocking with me because you're the base, dude. You're the base. You know what I mean? You get that strong base and then things build. And if it's your first time tuning in, welcome. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Listen, I want to talk about the title of the last episode. It was a bit clickbaity. I'll own that. It was a bit clickbaity, okay? But sometimes you gotta bait those clicks. I'm trying to get views. And I'm hoping that people were, not upset. They were slightly tricked, but not so tricked that they were angry. I did talk about Thoth. And I did think about joining that cult. So, maybe I went a little too overboard on the word almost. My bad. Maybe the secrets of Thoth were not fully explained. I did my best, okay? All right? And my hope is that you're just enjoying the ride. That you're like, maybe this isn't the I'm not gonna be Mr. Information. If you're watching me for information, stop. I don't have the answers, Sway. Okay? I've got discussion topics, I've got goofy voices, and I've got positivity. And I also have some negativity as well. I've got light and I've got darkness. I'm bringing it to you. All right? So, I'm not an expert. Okay? I'm kind of smart. Sometimes I'm smart. I was a lot smarter when I was a kid, I'll tell you that. I was a lot smarter when it was reading out loud in class. That's when I was smart. They were like, hey, the smartest kid is the one that can read out loud, bro. I could read out loud, bro. I couldn't wait to read out loud in class. I was so excited. I'd be like pissed. The other kid in front of me is like, adding no inflection, adding no sauce at all to the reading. And then it would get to me, and I would say, I am a star. And then no one would give a fuck except the teacher. Turns out chicks don't love when you read out loud super well. They're not like, oh my God, the way that you hit those commas was fucking hot. Oh, and you added inflection? You added inflections? That was so hot, dude. No, chicks they didn't give a fuck about that. I'm not supposed to swear. My bad. I think. For YouTube? I don't know. Am I supposed to swear on YouTube or not? I'm not sure. We're letting some fly. Okay, if you're here because of the thumbnail, I'm getting to it. Okay? I'm getting to it. I'm going to have chapters. I think. I hope. I got to figure out how to do chapters. I got to make it easy for you to navigate through these videos. You know what I mean? It's time to start leveling up. We got 11 in the books. Let's level up, bro. Last episode, did you see all the visual aids? Oh, baby. I mean, there was pictures popping left and right, dude. And if you're just listening to this podcast, hello. But also, don't be afraid to check it out on YouTube. They're getting better, bro. They are getting better and better and better every time. And I'm about to move to a new spot and hopefully set up a more interesting background. That'll be cool. And And I'm thinking about bringing on a co-host to the podcast. I think it'll be more fun for me, mostly. And I think for you too, but mostly, sometimes it's hard to just monologue for an hour and a half, with the Patreon and all that stuff. It's kind of hard. I need somebody to riff off with. I got to riff with somebody. Can you roll your R's? Try it right now. Can you do that? All right. Yeah. Oh, did you think I was going to be focused? Oh, did you think this was going to be the episode where I locked in and just told you facts? No. You're not here for the facts. You're here for the craziness. Why am I like this? It's because of I'm drinking an energy drink mixed with a Slurpee. And I'm also back on the nicotine. I gave it a solid 3 days. But here's what I'm doing with the nicotine. I'm doing 3s instead of 6s. I'm cutting the dosage in half. I'm gonna wean myself off. Okay. Ice cold. Ooh. Nothing better than a good Slurpee. Nothing more frustrating than when you go in and none of the fucking I swore again. None of the freaking Slurpee machines are working. They're all red. They got the red light of death. You're like, come on, you got one job, 7-Eleven. Give me that semi-solid sweetness. Come on. And then they say, stop yelling at us and leave. And I'm like, all right, fine. But, yeah. How we doing? Daily check-in. Yesterday, terrible. Oh, yesterday was so bad. I wanted to end it all. But I didn't. Because I knew I had to get this podcast out. So, thank you for keeping me alive. No, yesterday was a really bad mental health day for me. It was truly awful. Today we're feeling solid. I would say I'm feeling good, actually. I'm feeling good. What am I? I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm grateful. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. So yesterday was awful. Today is good. And that's the impossible thing to remember. When you're feeling bad and you're curled up on your bed, listening to a Navy SEAL fan fiction book, chaining nicotine pouches, and just wanting to end it all, tomorrow will be better. That's what it'll be. Why was I spiraling? My fucking bank account. I checked my bank account, and here's me. Here's what I do. I don't check my bank account. And that's probably why I got no cash in there, because I'm not paying attention to it. I got to wake up and be an adult and pay attention. I'm scared to check, and I checked, and the number was terrifying. I was shell-shocked by the number. Way lower than what I thought. I keep a running tally in my head, and I'm terrible at math, so it's always wrong. Ooh! I spiraled. I spiraled for the whole day. But I still did shit. And that's kind of the main thing. If you can find a way to do stuff when you're depressed, that's how you get out of it. But that's hard. I went for a run. I went and did some stand-up at night. My girlfriend was super nice. She came over, and she's very understanding of my deep sadnesses that I go through. So she was very nice to me. She comforted me. And I felt better today. And I almost did. I woke up today, and it was dicey. Ooh, it was dicey this morning. Ugh. Thankfully, I had an audition, so I taped the quick audition tape, and then that helped me kind of get some rhythm and momentum. Here's what I'm realizing, bro. I got to stop looking at my phone right in the morning. It's so obvious, and yet it's terrible. Bro, I'm on my phone. I'm scrolling through Instagram, and I'm getting hit with thirst traps, and then I'm jerking off at 8 in the morning. We can't be doing that. We can't be jerking off at 8 in the morning. That's before the workday has begun? Stop that. I'm not one of those weird semen retention bros, but like we gotta save some of that energy for the day. I jerk off in the morning and I'm like, I should just go back to sleep. What am I even fucking doing? Yeah. Sorry, there's a lot more explicit language in this one than usual. I don't know why I'm self-conscious about it, but I am. So, I don't know. Sorry. I'll try to keep the cursing that down. Not that anyone cares, but I don't know. It's just nice to create a... Maybe you listen with your kids. Probably not. I don't think you're listening to this with your kids. But my bad. If you are, sorry, they heard some stuff that you don't usually hear. Although, to be honest, if your parents are into me, you're probably hearing swear words. I feel like if you've got kids and you're also a fan of mine, you're a fucking cool parent. The kids are chill, you know? They're not stressing. They're not tripping about it. They understand it, and it's fine. All right, let's get into this alien disclosure. So, this is kind of, I guess, technically old information. It was leaked last year. But I just saw it, so you might not have seen it either. I don't know. I was on Reddit and I saw it and I was like, ooh. And I was really about this. And we can't verify if it's real. With like most things in the world of the extraterrestrial and the aliens. And if you're an alien listening to this podcast, do not be afraid to send me an email or a telepathic message to let me know the veracity of these claims. Veracity? The veracity of these claims, okay? That's what I get for trying to use a big word. I gotta say it twice to get it right. So, I don't know, but I was intrigued, I was excited, and I was like, dude, I know the What Up Aliens people are gonna love this. Do we need a name? Oh, snap. We need a name for the fans of this podcast, for the 51 of you that are out there that are fans of this podcast. We need a name for you. So, comment down below what you would like to be called if you're a fan of What Up Aliens. You know what I'm saying? We could call you the Little Green People. My Little Green People. We could call you the What Uppers. What Up Nation. Oh, What Up Nation's not bad. It's more like What Up Small Group right now. But eventually it'll be What Up Nation. The Believers. Maybe the Believers. I want to believe. I want to believe really bad. That's my thing with, here's my take on aliens and extraterrestrials and all that stuff. I want to believe so bad that you're out there. Statistically, I believe that you are. Now, my belief in the fact that aliens must exist based on statisticals and my fascination with the lore and my enjoyment of the alien subculture is tempered by the fact that I don't trust the U.S. government at all. And I know they are masters of manipulation and misinformation, and they'll do anything to fuck with us, mess with us. They'll do anything to mess with us. And so it's not above them to create these hoaxes and things and to fake abductions and to create mass sightings to disguise whatever they have going on militarily. And also to discredit people, make us all seem like crazies. Ooh. So if something does happen, they could be like, yeah, that's just another crazy person being nutty. They can discredit us real easy. So I'm a little bit wary, but I want to believe. And so when people come out and they say that they are credible, I like to take it in and see if it resonates with me. And the stuff that they said on this 4chan board resonated with me. Also, it's on 4chan. So it's like, 4chan is a bunch of nuts and perverts, and you can't trust them at all. But also, if someone was going to disclose something, they would do it on 4chan, because it's public, but it's anonymous. It's a subculture, but it very much pops into, it's a good way to get information out or disinformation out. You never know. So the only thing we can do is, as a team, go through the evidence and see what we think and if it resonates with us. So I'll have the messages on the screen. I'm gonna be working off my phone, and we're just gonna see if any of this resonates with us, right? Okay. So this was posted on Reddit or on 4chan. Okay. This is posted on 4chan, and this person, this whistleblower, said, I have intimate knowledge of what the U.S. currently knows about the UFOs, minus the last 2 years. So this was published in 2023, and so his information is up to 2021. All right, here's the big headlines, the bullet points. UFOs are primarily unmanned drones. UFOs are built to spec each time they are deployed. UFOs are created by a mobile construction facility that hides in the ocean. Construction facility destroys anything that comes close to it and will disappear for days when approached aggressively. The U.S. believe the facility has been active on Earth for at least 100 years or much longer. Fire away on questions. I'll answer what I can. You won't be disappointed. And then he goes on to answer questions that people have, and I'll kind of breeze through them. Some of the questions are good, some of them are terrible, and he kind of just answers them all indiscriminately. But let's dissect that first little bit of information, right? So UFOs are primarily unmanned drones. Now that resonates with me heavy, because you see the orbs, and they're just zipping around, right? And that's my first instinct. My first thought was government drone. It's a government drone. But then, like the Tic Tac situation, okay? You see that, and you're like, yeah, that's clearly some kind of drone. But then you get the, I think his name is Faber. Whoever that the pilot was watching it and was like, dude, these things fly in a way that we don't understand at all. And if it was a government-made drone, they would probably adhere to more of the rules of aviation. These things, they've got no regard for physics or science at all. They take our Earth science and just throw it back in our face. Like, you think you know stuff about the way this planet works? Check this out. And then they boggle our minds, right? So I was like, okay, drones, for sure. But the way they move, it seems like they're not human-made drones. It seems like they're drones that are, somewhere else, from somewhere else. So I was like, all right, cool. That automatically, right away, I was like, all right, I'm with this. I believe that this is good. This is good. And if we make drones, why do we think extraterrestrials would use manned craft of any kind? Other than transporting large numbers, or I guess, small numbers of themselves around to different places to set up shop. But once they're there, if they've got the technology to travel millions and billions of light years, of course they can make little drones. That makes sense, especially if their primary mission on Earth is to observe and report. Why would they do all the solo flights? That's too great of a risk. Anything can happen, can go wrong. They can crash, and then they can get discovered. So of course they're creating unmanned drones. So that I really fuck with that idea very heavily. So I like that. We're off to a great start. Already I'm like, this whistleblower's a good guy. I like this. Okay. And that, not too crazy off the top, right? You gotta get us in there with breadcrumbs of logic and reason, and then you can blow our minds later. Okay. They're built to spec each time they're deployed. Love that. They're bespoke. They're custom surveillance drones. Every time they need one, they just whip up a new one and send it out. Love that. Big fan. UFOs are created by a mobile construction facility that hides in the ocean. Yeah, that resonates with me big time. One, most of UFO sightings are coastal, or the famous Tic Tac encounter that happened in the ocean. Okay, the ocean is so vast, and we're not really in it like that. We've got satellites crowding around the planet. We've got planes crisscrossing up in the sky. There's dense jungles, but those are filled with, poisonous plants and animals, and the flora and the fauna is much harder to deal with. The ocean, you just zoop down to the bottom. There's nothing down there, bro, except an alien factory making bespoke UFO monitoring devices. So it's easy to hide down there. And so that makes perfect sense to me as well. So I'm with this guy. 100%. Yeah, it destroys anything that gets close to it. of course, right? You got to keep it secret. You got to keep it very, very secret. They believe the facility has been active on Earth for at least 100 years or much longer. Yeah, makes sense, bro. Makes sense. They've been here for a minute, and they've been really interested in our development. You know? They're like, all right, let's see what these guys are up to. Let's see what they're doing. What are they making? Are they going to, how are they evolutionarily, how are they evolving? What are they up to? Very fascinating and very important. They got to monitor us because things could happen on Earth that could have, intergalactic repercussions, and they want to stay on top of that. Again, this guy's hitting all the nails on the head here. All right. So then some questions that people asked. Somebody comes in heavy and is like, bullshit. Governments have and have had for a while advanced anti-gravity crafts. Okay, so this person's kind of like, yeah, man, it's still just the government. And the dude answers, you asked if the particular UFOs we study are the result of a foreign government, not if other governments have shittier versions. Speed alone tells us what we're looking at. So basically, he's saying like, yeah, the government has been reverse engineering stuff for sure, but these UFO factors are still spitting out mind-boggling creations. So even if another government or our government has versions of it, they're not going to be as good, right? It's like we found an iPhone 16 and we reverse engineered to get a sidekick or a razor. It's like, yeah, we have versions of the technology, but it's nowhere near what these dudes are just firing out. Okay? So I like that. That's a good answer to that question. I like that. Do they return back to the manufacturing unit? Yes. Some come in and leave the planet, but very rarely. Usually the same number that comes in goes out unless special circumstances arise. It feels more like a carrier, but with construction capability. So yeah, they're just setting up shop down here, right? I like that. What are the purpose? Surveillance of humans? The U.S. believes they are not here to harm us. They seem interested in us once we realize we're destroying things around us, including each other. One of the officials in charge said something that stuck with me. They act like keepers of a zoo, uninterested in the daily life of the wildlife until there's a problem. I mean, once again, this is really checking all of my boxes. Because I believe that if there was a super intelligent race out there, and they were discovered lesser intelligent, I don't think they would meddle with our stuff too much. It's like if I have an ant farm, I don't try to join the ants and disguise myself as an ant and try to like run their society. I'm just interested in what they're up to. And if the ants started making nukes, I'd be like, yeah, we should probably keep an eye on this because the ant farm on my desk is making nukes. So I would get more interested probably, and I'd have to really keep tabs on them and make sure they don't make nukes that could actually hit me. And also, I don't want them to destroy everything, so if they were like getting close to destroying everything, I'd probably step in and disable the nukes. I can approach the facility without being attacked. Someone said. That's hilarious. This dude's a real brave soul. He's like, I can get in, no problem. Honestly, low-key, I feel the same way. I feel like I have a vibe where I could approach aliens and they'd be like, oh yeah, that's fine, come on in. I'd probably be wrong and be eviscerated instantly, but that's my vibe. I try to curate a very abductable vibe. He said the last unit we saw approach the facility didn't even have time to communicate. They were being attacked before it was over. So it's like they're basically mind readers, essentially. And then this is an interesting question. They said, what is buried under Skinwalker Ranch? And I don't know if you've seen the Skinwalker Ranch show. I've watched it a ton. There's a lot of like different strange things going on. A lot of, UFO sightings and electrical magnetic anomalies and people getting headaches and all kinds of wild stuff. But this dude was basically like, I don't know about that at all. He showed no light on that, which kind of adds credence because here's the thing. If you're working in a government situation. Obviously, the government likes to have you like this if you're working on stuff. You know what I mean? Top secret, need to know. They don't let you just pop around to other divisions and see what they're up to. So they keep a short leash on you, you know? So I like that. The fact that he didn't know about other stuff or was smart enough to pretend not to, at least, that makes me think that he was really hyper-focused on one thing, and he is an expert in that one thing and not in just everything. You know, he's not some god who's like, I know it all. He's like, dude, I had a job. I know a little bit about this stuff, but I don't know everything. You know what I mean? Like, I worked at Chick-fil-A, so I know about, Chick-fil-A stuff, but I don't know about McDonald's stuff because I didn't work at McDonald's, so I can't tell you about that. I'm just telling you what I saw at Chick-fil-A, right? So that makes a lot of sense. I like this guy. Oh yeah, it's, of course they drop a couple F slurs in here. Classic 4chan. Let's see. They're not friends. Like he says zookeepers aren't friends with the animals, so that makes sense. They've got no business talking to us. What do they have to gain with talking to a lesser life form that they can't just observe, But also, aliens, please abduct me and talk to me, because I'm trying to, I think it could be good. I could bring this to people, all right? I'll bridge the gap. I'll give you a nuanced view of humanity, okay, without too much bias or whatever. I'll give it to you. So just come talk to me if you're trying to talk to somebody. Have you tried sending in a raft of hippies? Hilarious. Okay, based on previous disappearances, the acts of hostility were believed. The construction facility has learned what it is and isn't hostile. So it's very intelligent. So they know, like, they don't just randomly attack. They know if you're coming with bad intentions or good intentions. This kind of like Santa Claus. They know if you're on the naughty or the nice list, and they act accordingly. They said some people were attacked, but it was because they made like a quick left turn or something. So if you're in the ocean, don't make any sudden movements. Move real predictably, okay? Any relation to Antarctica? My section monitored just the craft and any interactions it attempted. A previous coworker did mention something about passing of Antarctica at one point, but I ignored it. If I'm being honest, talking about other projects is considered career suicide. Exactly. You got to just focus on what you're up to. Just focus on what you're doing and don't worry about other nonsense. That's how you get in trouble. Poking your beak into places your beak's not supposed to go. Just keep your eyes on your own paper. All right? Don't worry about other stuff. Focus up. Destination. How about the destination of the space orbs? Is Jupiter a potential destination? I believe they're keeping a massive orb inside of the gas giant, though I have no evidence, but many dreams of it. This is just some random person. And then the expert answers, no idea. If it is a project, I haven't seen it. No orbs out of the construction facility, just UFOs. Now, the difference between an orb and a UFO? Don't know. I thought they were the same thing. I guess they're different? Maybe you know. Maybe you're the expert. Maybe you should have made the video. I don't know. Ooh. What units have been lost approaching the construction machine? Why have they not sent a Seawolf to investigate? The Jimmy Carter with its nanotech. Oh, Seawolf, okay. Or the Jimmy Carter. I guess those are names of... I'm not really into military. I don't know military stuff like that. What has been lost approaching the construction site? Everything you can think of, really. At one point, nuclear missiles were being toyed with again, and we deployed fighters and a sub with serious intent. Everything except the sub was lost. Don't fuck with the aliens, bro. Don't try to send our little silly sticks and rocks machines at these advanced superior beings, all right? If they want to play with our nukes, you let them play with the nukes. You don't try to interfere, okay? Let them diddle the nukes. It's fine. It's going to be okay. They're the experts here. We're monkeys. All right. Why do you not know anything about the last 2 years? Just curious. I moved on from the project because new management didn't trust older, proven methods. Reassigned. Classic. The contents and equipment. Yeah, man. So basically unmanned. And that's what we're dealing with. So that is my latest theory on UFOs, taken from this taken from this 4chan guy. I believe him. That really jives with everything that I believe about extraterrestrials and the fact that our government is just monitoring them and slowly getting disclosure. I don't know if disclosure is a good thing or whatever. A lot of people were like, "Oh, I can't believe the government admitted that aliens were real and nobody freaked out." It's like, yeah, because we don't trust the government. The government saying something is or isn't real is not a benchmark of truth, to me at least. Just because the government says something, I'm like, okay, and what's the agenda? It's not that we were distracted or didn't care. We do care. We just need it to come from a better source, unfortunately. Or we need more evidence. We need more evidence from multiple sources. And it's like, we've seen all the videos. The government didn't really tell us anything we hadn't seen in a documentary, or they didn't bring up any new groundbreaking evidence. We kind of knew everything when they did the disclosure or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. But I like this theory. The theory that the most of the UFOs we see, especially in the ocean, are coming from a dedicated extraterrestrial facility, and they're making these custom drones. That's dope. I love that. And I can't wait to see one. Aliens, please do a drive-by. I want to see one. I can see out the window. If you sent a UFO zipping past me, I would lose my mind. It'd be the best day of my life. So please. And if you've had any interesting encounters, DM me. Tell me about it. We'll discuss them on the pod. Yeah. What up, nation? Pretty good. Okay, I like it. I don't know. What Up Nation's a front runner. It's a front runner. Let me know if you want to be called something else. But What Up Nation is kind of what's happening right now, bro. That's what's happening right now. That's what we're talking about. All right, time for positivity. This has been good, man. Not a lot of negative, not a lot of anger from me this episode. Much less anger from me. Okay, dude, turns out, good news story number 1, dude. Turns out plants actually eat like 37% more carbon than we thought. So trees and other plants are actually cleaning our air way better than we thought previously. We knew that they were doing something, but now we know they're even more effective than we thought. So the more trees and plants that we plant, the cleaner our air gets, and that is excellent news. Because obviously global warming is really messing us up, right? So the answer is start cutting more plants, bro. Stop cutting them. Plant more plants. Don't cut anymore. Don't listen to what I just said. Plant more plants. And I want to know if maybe, do weed plants also? So should we just plant more weed plants? Maybe weed plants cycle 420 more % carbon out of the atmosphere, and by planting a plethora of weed, we can clean the earth. Now, that'd be beautiful. I also want someone to engineer a weed plant that grows to the size of a redwood tree. That would be beautiful. I want to see a giant weed plant. I want to see weed plants as far as the eye can see, like a forest. A forest of massive weed plants. That's my dream. Martin Luther King had a dream. Austin Kress has a dream. Weed forests. The size of pine trees, filling the Pacific Northwest, or wherever it grows best. Humboldt County. That'd be cool. I would be very interested in that. All right, next positive news story. They just passed a law or a ruling or something, and to make it mandatory for companies to make it easy for you to cancel subscriptions. You know how sometimes you try to cancel a subscription, and it's like, if you got the app, they're like, you can't cancel on the app, you have to cancel on the website. And you go to the website, and then you got to send an email, and you got to call somebody, and you got to go to their best friend's wedding, and you got to be in the wedding, and you got to stay for the whole ceremony, and then at the end, if you have a written letter signed by a doctor, you can cancel. Not anymore. Now they're just passed a ruling where companies have to provide a button that makes it just as easy to cancel as it was to sign up. So that's good. That's a huge win. Stop letting companies fuck with us, bro. Be the government you're supposed to be and make our lives easier. Huh? Okay. Too political. Now, they're working on a hydrogen/sewage-powered race car. Very exciting. Alternative forms of fuel. Very exciting. New ones being developed all the time. Very exciting. And I like that, man. If we can get away from fossil fuels, then we cut down less trees. More trees cleans the air. Less pollution plus more trees equals healthier Earth. Very dope. So, excited to have a hydrogen garbage-powered car because we got so much garbage. If we can turn it into fuel, that's big brain plays right there, buddy. We take Trash Island from the Pacific and we put it into a car. Trash car. Love it. Love it so much. So that's good news. Those are 3 positive news stories to help stoke your week, dude. Stoked and steamed. What am I stoked and what am I steamed about? I didn't think about this segment, so I'm just gonna have to go off. I'm stoked that it's almost time to snowboard. We're real close. Next month, I think I'll be snowboarding in California. Some of you are already snowboarding if you're in Colorado. That's very exciting. Winter is near. Winter is nigh. And I am ready to ride. What am I steamed about? I'm steamed that I haven't cleaned my room. It's a mess. I gotta clean it. This blanket is covering a lot of items on my bed. I have too many items on my bed. That's what I'm steamed about. That I have not taken care of my personal hygiene in my room. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're just listening to this, it's been the same length episode as always. If you're watching this on YouTube, this one's shorter than the last one because I got high and mixed up all of my file names, and I uploaded the full version with the Patreon part and everything to YouTube last week. So this is the length that the episodes on YouTube are going to be, a little bit shorter. The longer episodes are available on Patreon. I hope you enjoyed that free Patreon preview. Very fun. But yeah, like, subscribe, sign up to my email list. I got a show in San Diego, California on December 7th. So if you live in San Diego, California, come to my show December 7th. And I've got I think a new monthly show in Los Angeles that's starting very soon. Waiting on some details, but it will be sponsored. It will be sponsored, which you know what that means. Free goodies. And you know what I mean by goodies. Weirdest wink in the world. All right. Stay stoked. Don't crash those spaceships.